Have you ever wondered why negative thoughts seem to pop up in your mind, even when everything is going well? Why is it that we hold on to worries and fears, even though they drain our energy? And how often do we let these negative thoughts shape our entire day, affecting our mood, relationships, and overall happiness? In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught in cycles of negativity, frustration, and stress. But what if I told you there's a way to break free from these harmful thought patterns? A path to peace, balance, and clarity, rooted in the wisdom of Buddhism. Before we dive into the details, let's consider a simple example. Think about when you're driving and someone cuts you off in traffic. Almost immediately, anger or frustration bubbles up. You might even carry that anger with you for the rest of the day, letting it affect your mood and interactions. But what if, instead of reacting negatively, you could remain calm and centered? What if that small moment didn't have the power to ruin your day? This is the kind of mental freedom we'll explore in today's video. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, your space for deep insights and practical advice on living a more peaceful and positive life. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Did you know there are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of you are subscribed? If you find this content helpful, please like, comment, and share. It really helps us grow and bring more wisdom into the world. Now, let's talk about how negativity takes hold in our minds. Many of us don't realize that negativity often stems from our natural tendency to resist discomfort. In Buddhism, it's said that our suffering is born from this resistance. Instead of allowing our thoughts and emotions to come and go, we cling to them, creating a cycle of negative thinking. We attach ourselves to fleeting moments of anger, frustration, or sadness, and this attachment amplifies their impact. Negativity can also stem from fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, or fear of judgment. These fears lead us to focus on the worst-case scenarios, even when they're unlikely to happen. This constant focus on the negative wears us down mentally and emotionally. But, through Buddhist teachings, we can learn to view our thoughts with detachment, understanding that they are not permanent and do not define us. The key to breaking free from negativity is awareness. Buddhism emphasizes mindfulness, the practice of observing our thoughts without judgment or attachment. When we become mindful, we see our negative thoughts for what they are, temporary mental states that do not need to control us. Instead of reacting to them, we can choose how to respond. In the next part, we'll explore the nature of thoughts and how negativity arises in the mind. Stay tuned for more insights. The nature of thoughts. How negativity arises. In the vast landscape of our minds, thoughts are like clouds drifting through the sky. Some are light and fluffy, while others are dark and heavy. Understanding the nature of these thoughts is essential to navigating our mental world, especially when it comes to negativity. So, how do these negative thoughts arise in the first place? At the heart of it, our minds are naturally inclined to notice the negative. This instinct comes from our ancestors, who needed to stay alert to dangers in their environment. Think about it. If a lion was lurking nearby, focusing on the beautiful flowers wouldn't keep you safe. This survival mechanism has carried through generations. While it served a purpose then, in our modern lives, it can lead to excessive worry and stress. When we face a situation, our minds often jump to worst-case scenarios. Imagine you receive constructive feedback at work. Instead of seeing it as an opportunity for growth, your mind might spiral into thoughts of inadequacy, fearing that you'll lose your job. This is how negative thinking can hijack our reality, creating a cycle of self-doubt and anxiety. The moment we allow these thoughts to take root, they begin to grow. Just like weeds in a garden, unchecked negative thoughts can spread quickly. They can cloud our judgment, distort our perceptions, and make it challenging to see things clearly. What's more, these thoughts feed off our emotions, creating a feedback loop where fear and negativity reinforce each other. Our habitual thought patterns play a significant role in how negativity arises. Many of us have developed mental habits over the years, ways of thinking that we may not even be aware of. If you often think, "I'm not good enough," that belief can become a lens through which you view the world. It shapes your experiences, making you more likely to interpret events negatively. So, how can we begin to untangle this web of negativity? The first step is awareness. Buddhism teaches us the importance of recognizing our thoughts without judgment. When you notice a negative thought arising, pause for a moment. Acknowledge it as just that, a thought. It doesn't define who you are, nor does it dictate your reality. Another critical aspect of understanding the nature of thoughts is realizing that they are impermanent. Like clouds that shift and change in the sky, our thoughts are not fixed. They come and go, and they can change with the next moment. This understanding allows us to create distance between ourselves and our thoughts. As we cultivate this awareness, we can start to notice the triggers that lead to negative thinking. Do you tend to have negative thoughts when you're tired or stressed? Maybe certain situations or people bring out these thoughts. By identifying these patterns, we empower ourselves to make different choices. Instead of falling into the same traps, we can respond with mindfulness and compassion. It's also essential to recognize the power of language in shaping our thoughts. The words we use, both in our minds and when speaking to others, carry energy. If you find yourself using harsh language towards yourself, it can perpetuate feelings of negativity. Instead, practice speaking to yourself as you would to a dear friend. Use words of kindness and encouragement. This shift in language can significantly alter your mental landscape. Meditation is a powerful tool for understanding the nature of thoughts. By sitting in stillness and observing your thoughts, you create space between yourself and the mental chatter. You may notice that thoughts arise, linger, and eventually fade away, much like waves on the shore. With practice, you learn not to react to every thought, allowing them to pass without judgment. In this practice, consider incorporating loving-kindness meditation. This involves sending positive wishes to yourself and others, cultivating feelings of compassion and warmth. As you extend love towards yourself, you begin to counteract the negativity that may have taken root in your mind. Remember, negativity is not something we can eliminate entirely. It's a part of the human experience. However, we can change our relationship with it. Instead of being overwhelmed by negativity, we can learn to view it with curiosity and compassion. As we continue to explore the nature of thoughts, it's important to embrace the idea of balance. While it's essential to acknowledge negative thoughts, it's equally vital to make space for positive ones. Cultivating gratitude and joy can help shift your focus away from negativity. Start each day by reflecting on something you are grateful for. This simple practice can gradually change your mindset over time. In the next part, we will delve deeper into the Buddhist perspective on suffering and negativity. Understanding this viewpoint can offer profound insights into our experiences and guide us toward a more peaceful existence. Buddhist perspective on suffering and negativity. In Buddhism, understanding the nature of suffering is a crucial step in overcoming negativity. The Buddha taught that life is filled with suffering, but he also provided a path to transcend it. This path is not just about eliminating pain, but about understanding its origin and finding peace amidst it. So, what exactly is suffering? It encompasses a range of experiences, from the obvious, like physical pain or loss, to the more subtle, such as dissatisfaction, anxiety, or restlessness. Every human being encounters suffering at some point in life. It can stem from many sources: the inevitable changes we face, the attachments we form, or even the expectations we create for ourselves. These attachments and expectations often lead us into cycles of negativity. When things don't go as planned, or when we lose something we care about, we suffer. Buddhism teaches us that the root of suffering is desire or craving. We desire things to be different from how they are. For example, we crave happiness, success, or the approval of others. When we don't attain these desires, we feel a sense of loss or dissatisfaction. This craving can create a heavy burden on our minds, leading us to spiral into negativity. It is this cycle of craving and suffering that keeps us trapped in a state of unhappiness. But there is hope. The Buddha offered the Four Noble Truths, which provide insight into suffering and its resolution. The first truth acknowledges that suffering exists in various forms. The second truth explains the origin of suffering, our cravings and attachments. The third truth reveals that it is possible to end suffering by letting go of these attachments. Finally, the fourth truth outlines the Eightfold Path, a guide to leading a more fulfilling and enlightened life. One of the most profound teachings in Buddhism is the concept of impermanence, or anicca. Everything in life is transient. Our feelings, situations, and even our thoughts. By understanding that all things are temporary, we can begin to loosen our grip on the things we desire. This realization helps us to detach from our cravings and, in turn, reduces our suffering. Imagine holding a hot coal in your hand. It burns and causes pain, yet we refuse to let it go because we fear the unknown. We hold on tightly, thinking it defines us or our situation. But the moment we release that coal, we free ourselves from the pain. This is how letting go works in our lives. When we recognize that our negative thoughts and emotions are like that hot coal, we can choose to release them. Another important aspect of the Buddhist perspective on negativity is the idea of interconnectedness. We often feel isolated in our suffering, thinking that we are alone in our struggles. However, Buddhism teaches that we are all connected, and our experiences, whether joyful or painful, resonate with others. When we acknowledge this interconnectedness, it can soften our negative feelings. We begin to see that everyone faces challenges, and our shared humanity can bring us comfort and compassion. Furthermore, Buddhism encourages us to cultivate compassion and loving kindness, not just toward others, but also toward ourselves. This means treating ourselves with the same kindness we would offer a friend. When we are caught in negativity, we can be our own worst critics. Instead, we should acknowledge our struggles and extend compassion to ourselves. This self-compassion can break the cycle of negativity and create a foundation for healing. When faced with negative thoughts, ask yourself, what am I craving in this moment? What attachment is causing my suffering? This self-inquiry can help you recognize the roots of your negativity. By shining a light on these cravings, you can begin to dismantle their hold on your mind. Practicing meditation is one powerful way to embody this understanding. Meditation allows us to sit with our thoughts, observe them without judgment, and gradually detach from them. It cultivates mindfulness, helping us realize that we are not our thoughts. They come and go like clouds in the sky, but the sky itself remains unchanged. As we develop our meditation practice, we create a space in our minds to respond to negativity with awareness instead of reactivity. Instead of being swept away by negative emotions, we can acknowledge them, understand their nature, and let them pass. This creates a sense of freedom and peace within us. Another vital teaching in Buddhism is the concept of non-attachment. Non-attachment doesn't mean that we stop caring about people, experiences, or outcomes. Rather, it means that we learn to appreciate them without clinging to them. This perspective allows us to engage fully in life without the fear of loss or disappointment. By letting go of the need to control everything, we can approach life with a sense of ease. Consider a flower in bloom. We can admire its beauty, knowing it will eventually wither away. We appreciate its presence in the moment, without holding on to it. This same principle can be applied to our relationships, experiences, and even our own emotions. When we learn to enjoy the moment for what it is, we cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude and joy. In summary, Buddhism offers profound insights into suffering and negativity. By understanding the nature of suffering, recognizing our cravings, and practicing mindfulness and compassion, we can break free from the chains of negativity. Each of us has the potential to transform our minds and lives, finding peace amid the chaos. The journey begins with awareness and the willingness to let go. As we delve deeper into these teachings, we'll uncover practical steps to help us navigate negativity and cultivate a more positive mindset in the following parts. The practice of mindfulness, observing negative thoughts. In our busy lives, it's easy to become overwhelmed by negative thoughts. They can sneak up on us, like uninvited guests at a party. One moment, we're enjoying a moment of peace, and the next, we're consumed by worries, doubts, and fears. So, how do we deal with these unwelcome visitors? The answer lies in mindfulness, a powerful practice that helps us observe our thoughts without becoming entangled in them. Mindfulness is about being present in the moment, paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. Imagine sitting by a river, watching the water flow. The river represents our thoughts, constantly moving and changing. Sometimes the water is clear and calm, and other times it's turbulent and murky. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to observe the flow of our thoughts, recognizing them without trying to change or control them. This perspective helps us detach from negativity, allowing it to pass like clouds in the sky. To start cultivating mindfulness, We can begin with simple breathing exercises. Find a quiet place, sit comfortably, and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose, feeling your belly expand. Hold it for a moment, then exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing any tension. As you breathe, pay attention to the sensations in your body, the rise and fall of your chest, the feeling of the air entering and leaving your nostrils. If thoughts of worry or negativity arise, acknowledge them without judgment, then gently bring your focus back to your breath. Over time, this practice strengthens our ability to remain present, even when negative thoughts try to take over. Another effective way to practice mindfulness is through daily activities. You can incorporate mindfulness into everything you do: eating, walking, even washing dishes. When eating, for example, pay attention to the taste, texture, and aroma of your food. Notice how it feels in your mouth, the colors on your plate. Instead of rushing through your meal, savor each bite. This practice not only makes eating more enjoyable, but it also anchors you in the present, reducing the power of negative thoughts. Walking can also be a beautiful mindfulness practice. As you walk, pay attention to the sensations in your feet and legs. Feel the ground beneath you, the air against your skin. Notice the sights and sounds around you: birds chirping, leaves rustling, the warmth of the sun. If your mind starts to wander toward negativity, gently bring your focus back to the experience of walking. This simple act of awareness helps cultivate a sense of peace and clarity. Now, let's discuss the importance of acknowledging our negative thoughts. Often, we try to suppress or ignore them, thinking that pushing them away will make them disappear. But in reality, this can create more tension and discomfort. Mindfulness teaches us to acknowledge our thoughts without judgment. Instead of labeling them as bad or wrong, we can see them as temporary visitors. They come and go, and that's okay. By allowing ourselves to experience these thoughts without resistance, we begin to lessen their power over us. In Buddhism, there's a concept known as the second arrow. The first arrow represents the initial pain or negative thought that strikes us, like an arrow hitting its target. The second arrow is our reaction to that pain: the worry, frustration, or anxiety we add on top of the initial hurt. For example, if you fail at something, the first arrow is the failure itself. The second arrow is the negative self-talk that follows, telling you you're not good enough. Mindfulness helps us recognize the second arrow, giving us the choice to respond differently. Instead of adding more pain, we can choose compassion and understanding for ourselves. As we cultivate mindfulness, we develop a deeper sense of awareness about our thought patterns. We begin to notice the triggers that lead to negativity. Is it a certain situation, a specific person, or a particular feeling? By identifying these triggers, we can better prepare ourselves to respond mindfully rather than react impulsively. For instance, if you know that social media often leads to negative thoughts, you might decide to limit your time online or take breaks when you feel overwhelmed. Mindfulness also encourages us to practice self-compassion. We can be our harshest critics, judging ourselves for having negative thoughts or feelings. But Buddhism teaches us that we are all human, and it's natural to experience a range of emotions. When a negative thought arises, instead of criticizing ourselves, we can respond with kindness. Acknowledge that it's okay to feel this way and remind ourselves that we're doing the best we can in this moment. Over time, mindfulness can transform the way we relate to our thoughts. Rather than being trapped in a cycle of negativity, we learn to observe our minds with curiosity and openness. This shift in perspective can lead to greater emotional resilience and inner peace. We become less reactive, more grounded, and better equipped to handle life's challenges. So, how can we continue to deepen our mindfulness practice? One effective method is to set aside a few minutes each day for formal meditation. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and focus on your breath. If your mind wanders, which it inevitably will, gently bring your focus back to your breath without judgment. This practice strengthens your mindfulness muscle, making it easier to observe negative thoughts in your daily life. You can also join mindfulness or meditation groups, either in person or online. Connecting with others on this journey can provide support and encouragement as you develop your practice. Remember, mindfulness is a skill that takes time and patience to cultivate. Be gentle with yourself as you learn. As we conclude this part, Remember that mindfulness is a powerful tool in the journey of removing negativity from our minds. By observing our thoughts without attachment, acknowledging them with compassion, and embracing the present moment, we can cultivate a peaceful and resilient mind. In the next part, we will explore the power of meditation and how it can help purify our thoughts. Stay tuned for more insights on this transformative journey. The power of meditation, purifying the mind. In our busy lives, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the noise in our minds. Thoughts race through our heads, often filled with worries, doubts, and negativity. But what if there was a simple practice that could help us find calm and clarity? Enter meditation, a powerful tool for purifying the mind and transforming our inner experience. Meditation is like a refreshing break for the mind. It's a moment where we step away from the chaos and connect with our true selves. Just as we clean our homes to remove dirt and clutter, meditation helps us clear our mental space. But how does it work? When we sit down to meditate, we start by focusing on our breath. With each inhale and exhale, we anchor ourselves in the present moment. This simple act of breathing helps us slow down and become aware of our thoughts. At first, you might find your mind racing, jumping from one thought to another. That's completely normal. Instead of getting frustrated, we can acknowledge these thoughts and gently guide our attention back to our breath. This process teaches us to observe our thoughts without judgment. As we continue to practice, we begin to notice patterns in our thinking. Perhaps we often worry about the future or dwell on past mistakes. Through meditation, we learn to see these thoughts for what they are, just passing clouds in the sky of our mind. They don't need to take root or dictate our feelings. One of the beautiful aspects of meditation is that it encourages a sense of detachment. When we sit quietly and observe our thoughts, we realize that we are not our thoughts. They come and go, like waves on the ocean. This realization brings us a sense of freedom. We don't have to hold on to negativity or allow it to define our experience. Instead, we can cultivate a sense of peace, even amidst the storm of thoughts. Meditation also helps us connect with our bodies. As we focus on our breath, we start to notice sensations in our body, tension, relaxation, and even emotions. This connection allows us to understand where negativity may be stored within us. For example, when we feel anxious, we might notice tightness in our chest. By bringing awareness to these sensations, we can learn to release them. As we practice meditation regularly, we begin to develop a more positive mindset. Studies have shown that meditation can actually change the structure of our brains, making us more resilient to stress and negativity. It increases our capacity for compassion and empathy, helping us relate to others with kindness. Moreover, meditation teaches us the importance of being present. We often get caught up in our to-do lists and future worries, forgetting to enjoy the moment. But when we meditate, we learn to embrace the present. This shift in perspective can lead to greater joy and fulfillment in our everyday lives. For those new to meditation, starting can feel daunting. But remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need to sit for hours or achieve a specific state of mind. Just a few minutes a day can make a significant difference. You can start by finding a quiet space, sitting comfortably, and focusing on your breath. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Gently bring your attention back to your breath without judgment. Incorporating meditation into your daily routine can be transformative. Whether it's in the morning to set a positive tone for the day, during lunch as a reset, or in the evening to wind down, find what works best for you. Over time, you'll notice a shift in how you respond to challenges and negativity. In addition to formal meditation, we can practice mindfulness throughout our day. This means bringing awareness to our daily activities, eating, walking, or even washing dishes. By staying present in these moments, we cultivate a sense of peace and reduce the impact of negative thoughts. As we continue on this journey of meditation, it's essential to be patient with ourselves. Change doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and consistent practice. Some days may feel easier than others, and that's perfectly okay. The key is to keep showing up, even when it feels challenging. Remember, meditation is not about achieving a blank mind. It's about observing and accepting whatever arises. With time, you'll find that even the most persistent negative thoughts start to lose their power over you. You'll develop a deeper understanding of yourself and your emotions, leading to a more fulfilling and joyful life. In our next part, we'll delve into the role of compassion and loving kindness in overcoming negativity. As we continue to explore these practices, we'll uncover even more ways to cultivate positivity in our lives. Stay tuned. The role of compassion and loving kindness. In the heart of Buddhist practice lies the profound teachings of compassion and loving kindness. These are not just lofty ideas. They are practical tools that can transform our inner world and help us remove negativity from our minds. But what do we truly mean by compassion and loving kindness, and how can we cultivate these qualities in our daily lives? Compassion, in the Buddhist sense, is the deep awareness of the suffering of others coupled with the desire to alleviate that suffering. It's more than just feeling sorry for someone. It's about genuinely wanting to help them. When we practice compassion, we shift our focus from ourselves and our own negativity to the needs of others. This shift is powerful. It reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles and that everyone faces challenges. Recognizing the shared human experience can dissolve feelings of isolation and negativity. Consider a moment when you see someone in distress. Perhaps a friend is going through a tough time, or a stranger is struggling with their burdens. In that moment, when you extend compassion, you are connecting with their pain and suffering. Instead of turning inward and wallowing in your own negative thoughts, you are reaching out, offering a listening ear or a kind word. This act of compassion not only helps the other person, but also brings a sense of joy and fulfillment to you. The warmth of compassion acts as a balm for your own negativity, reminding you of the goodness in humanity and the importance of connection. Now, let's talk about loving kindness, or metta, as it's called in Pali, the ancient language of the Buddha. Loving kindness is the practice of wishing well for others without any expectation of return. It's about cultivating an unconditional love that embraces all beings, including ourselves. Often, we are our harshest critics, holding on to negative self-talk and feelings of unworthiness. When we practice loving kindness, we learn to soften that inner critic. The practice of loving kindness starts with yourself. It may feel strange at first, especially if you're used to being hard on yourself. But try this simple meditation. Find a quiet place, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. Then, silently repeat phrases like, "May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease." As you repeat these phrases, visualize yourself surrounded by a warm, golden light. This light represents love and kindness. Allow it to fill your heart and mind, washing away negativity and self-doubt. Once you've nurtured loving kindness for yourself, you can extend it to others. Start with someone you care about, perhaps a friend or family member. Visualize them and repeat the same phrases. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. Feel the warmth of your wishes wrapping around them like a comforting hug. As you extend loving kindness to others, you'll notice a shift within yourself. Your heart begins to open and negativity starts to dissolve. Eventually, you can expand your loving kindness practice to include neutral people, those you may not know well or have no strong feelings about, and even those you find difficult. This is the ultimate test of loving kindness. When you can wish well for someone who has hurt you or someone you dislike, you are truly breaking the chains of negativity. You are not condoning their actions, but rather freeing yourself from the burden of resentment. It's essential to understand that compassion and loving kindness are not merely emotional responses. They are conscious choices we make every day. In moments of frustration or anger, we can choose to pause and ask ourselves, what would compassion look like in this situation? This simple question can redirect our thoughts and actions, leading us toward a more positive and peaceful mindset. Furthermore, compassion and loving kindness have a ripple effect. When we treat others with kindness, we inspire them to do the same. Think about a time when someone's simple act of kindness lifted your spirits. Perhaps it was a smile from a stranger or a compliment from a colleague. These small gestures create a positive atmosphere that encourages others to spread love and kindness in return. In this way, practicing compassion and loving kindness not only transforms our own minds, but can also create a wave of positivity in the world around us. Incorporating these practices into your daily life doesn't require grand gestures. It can be as simple as offering a kind word to a colleague, listening patiently to a friend, or helping a stranger in need. Every act of kindness contributes to your own mental well-being and helps you cultivate a more positive outlook. Over time, as you nurture these qualities, you'll find that negativity has less power over you. You'll begin to see the world through a lens of compassion, where understanding and kindness become your default responses. It's also important to recognize that cultivating compassion and loving kindness is a journey. There will be days when it feels easier than others. You may encounter obstacles, such as stress, anger, or frustration. On those days, it's crucial to practice self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself. Acknowledge your feelings without judgment and remind yourself that it's okay to feel this way. Then, return to your loving kindness practice, allowing it to ground you once more. As we wrap up this part on compassion and loving kindness, remember that these qualities are within you, waiting to be awakened. They are tools to help you combat negativity, foster connection, and ultimately find inner peace. By practicing compassion for yourself and others, you can break free from the grip of negative thoughts and emotions, leading to a more fulfilling and joyful life. In the next part, we will explore the concept of impermanence and how letting go of negative emotions can bring about lasting change. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into these transformative teachings. Impermanence and letting go of negative emotions. In our lives, we often cling to our emotions, especially the negative ones. We hold on to anger, sadness, and fear, thinking they define us or that we need to keep them close to protect ourselves. But what if I told you that holding on to these feelings is like trying to grasp water in your hands? The more tightly you hold on, the more it slips away. This is the essence of impermanence, a core teaching in Buddhism. Impermanence teaches us that everything in life is constantly changing. Our thoughts, emotions, and experiences are not permanent. They come and go, like clouds drifting across the sky. Recognizing this can be liberating. When we understand that our negative emotions are temporary, we can begin to let go of them instead of allowing them to weigh us down. Think about a time when you felt really angry or upset. Maybe someone hurt you, or a situation didn't go as planned. You may have replayed the event in your mind repeatedly, feeling the anger and pain wash over you time and again. But what if, instead of clinging to that anger, you acknowledged it, felt it, and then allowed it to pass? This is the practice of letting go, and it begins with acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean you have to like what happened or agree with it. It simply means you acknowledge the reality of the situation. By accepting your feelings, you create space to process them. Instead of getting stuck in negativity, you give yourself permission to feel hurt or angry and then move forward. This acceptance is a powerful tool for transformation. Buddhism teaches us to observe our emotions without judgment. When we experience anger, sadness, or frustration, we can pause and say, here is anger, here is sadness. This practice of observation helps us detach from the emotions. We become the observer rather than the victim of our feelings. By labeling our emotions, we reduce their power over us. Instead of being overwhelmed by them, we gain clarity and insight. Another aspect of impermanence is the understanding that our circumstances will change. The challenges we face today may not be the same tomorrow. Life is fluid, and our emotional states can shift just as easily. This knowledge can be comforting during difficult times. If we remind ourselves that this too shall pass, we can endure hardships with greater ease. Let's take a moment to reflect on the concept of non-attachment. In Buddhism, non-attachment does not mean that we stop caring about people or experiences. Rather, it means we do not cling to them as a source of happiness. For example, if we rely on our job, relationship, or material possessions for our sense of self-worth, we set ourselves up for suffering. If those things change or are taken away, we feel lost and empty. But if we cultivate a sense of self that is independent of external circumstances, we can navigate life's ups and downs with grace. Practicing non-attachment involves training our minds to recognize the beauty of the present moment. Instead of worrying about what could go wrong or clinging to past regrets, we can embrace the here and now. One effective way to do this is through mindfulness meditation. By focusing on our breath and bringing our awareness to the present, we create a sense of peace and clarity. We learn to let go of distractions and negative emotions, allowing them to drift away like leaves on a river. As we cultivate awareness of impermanence, we also develop compassion for ourselves. It's important to understand that everyone experiences negative emotions. We are all human, and suffering is a part of the human experience. Instead of judging ourselves for feeling negative emotions, we can embrace our vulnerability and practice self-compassion. This means treating ourselves with kindness and understanding when we are struggling. When we can be gentle with ourselves, we can more easily let go of negativity. Now, let's explore some practical techniques for letting go of negative emotions through the lens of impermanence. Mindful breathing. When you feel a negative emotion rising, take a moment to pause and breathe. Focus on your breath as it flows in and out. Imagine each breath carrying away your negative feelings. With each exhale, visualize letting go of what no longer serves you. Journaling. Writing can be a powerful way to process emotions. When you feel overwhelmed, take some time to write down what you're feeling. This act of expression helps you gain clarity and release pin-up emotions. Over time, you may notice patterns in your thoughts that can guide your healing. Nature connection. Spend time in nature, observing the world around you. Notice how trees lose their leaves and grow back again. Observe the changing seasons and the cycles of life. Nature is a perfect reminder of impermanence, helping us to see that change is natural and beautiful. Meditation on impermanence. Set aside time to meditate specifically on the concept of impermanence. Reflect on the transient nature of your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Allow yourself to feel a sense of freedom as you acknowledge that nothing is permanent. Gratitude practice. Cultivating gratitude can shift your focus from negativity to appreciation. Each day, take a moment to reflect on what you're grateful for, no matter how small. This practice helps you recognize the positive aspects of life, even amid challenges. Letting go rituals. Create a ritual for letting go. This could be a simple act, like writing down what you wish to release and then burning the paper as a symbolic gesture of letting go. Engaging in a physical act can reinforce the mental process of releasing negativity. Seek support. Sometimes, talking to someone about your feelings can help immensely. Whether it's a friend, family member, or therapist, sharing your experiences can lighten the emotional load and provide new perspectives. As you begin to embrace impermanence and practice letting go, remember that this is a journey. There will be moments when negativity resurfaces, and that's okay. The key is to keep returning to the principles of mindfulness and non-attachment. With practice, you'll find that your relationship with negative emotions shifts. Instead of being consumed by them, you'll learn to acknowledge, accept, and release them. In this way, you cultivate a sense of inner peace and resilience, allowing you to navigate life with greater ease and grace. Embrace the beauty of impermanence, and let the flow of life guide you to a more positive and fulfilling existence. Noble Eightfold Path. Practical steps to overcome negativity. The journey to remove negativity from our minds is not a simple one, but it can be guided by the principles of the Noble Eightfold Path in Buddhism. This path provides a framework that helps us cultivate a healthier, more positive mindset. Each step along the path is like a tool, equipping us to handle life's challenges with grace and wisdom. Let's explore each of these 8 aspects together and see how they can help us transform our thinking. Right understanding. The first step is about grasping the nature of reality and the truths of existence. Right understanding means recognizing that everything is interconnected and impermanent. When we truly see that our negative thoughts are just passing clouds in the sky of our mind, we start to realize that they don't need to affect our entire day. Understanding that suffering is a part of life allows us to view our negativity with compassion instead of judgment. Right intention. Next, we need to cultivate the right intentions. This means setting our mind on thoughts that foster love, compassion, and goodwill, rather than hatred or aversion. When negative thoughts arise, we can consciously choose to replace them with intentions of kindness. Ask yourself, what do I want to cultivate in my heart? Am I nurturing positivity or negativity? Focusing on positive intentions creates a shift in our mindset. Right speech. Our words hold immense power. They can uplift or bring down ourselves and others. Practicing right speech involves speaking truthfully, kindly, and beneficially. When we refrain from gossip or negative talk, we not only protect ourselves from negativity, but also create a more supportive environment for those around us. Notice how your speech influences your mood and relationships. By speaking positively, we gradually cultivate a more uplifting mindset. Right action. This step encourages us to act in ways that promote harmony and happiness, both for ourselves and others. Right action involves living ethically and treating others with respect. When we engage in actions that reflect our positive intentions, such as helping others, volunteering, or simply being kind, we create a sense of fulfillment that counteracts negativity. When we do good deeds, we feel good too, which helps clear our minds of negative clutter. Right livelihood. The fifth aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path emphasizes the importance of finding work that is ethical and fulfilling. Engaging in a profession that aligns with our values allows us to contribute positively to the world. When our work is meaningful, it helps us maintain a sense of purpose and joy, reducing the chances of negative thinking creeping in. Strive to choose a path that reflects your beliefs and brings you satisfaction. Right effort. Cultivating positivity takes effort and commitment. Right effort is about being diligent in developing wholesome qualities while letting go of negative habits. This means actively working on fostering positive thoughts and behaviors, while also recognizing and releasing those that do not serve us. It's like tending to a garden. The more we nurture the flowers, the less room there is for weeds. Right mindfulness. Mindfulness is at the heart of overcoming negativity. This practice encourages us to remain present and aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without getting caught up in them. By observing our negative thoughts as they arise, we create space between ourselves and our emotions. We start to understand that thoughts are just thoughts, not facts. This awareness helps us to not react impulsively and instead choose our responses thoughtfully. Right concentration. The final step involves developing deep concentration through practices such as meditation. When we dedicate time to calm our minds, we create a sanctuary of peace within ourselves. This inner stillness allows us to see our negative thoughts more clearly, making it easier to let them go. Regular meditation practice helps us develop resilience against negativity, enhancing our ability to maintain a positive outlook. By integrating these 8 steps into our daily lives, we begin to cultivate a healthier mental environment. Each aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path supports the others, creating a holistic approach to overcoming negativity. It's a lifelong journey, but with each small step, we empower ourselves to break free from the cycle of negative thinking. Incorporating these teachings into our lives isn't just about banishing negativity. It's about transforming our relationship with our minds. As we practice right understanding and intention, we become more aware of how we speak and act. This awareness nurtures compassion, not just for ourselves but for everyone around us. Think of it this way. Every time you catch a negative thought, view it as an opportunity to practice one of these 8 aspects. Ask yourself, how can I apply right speech here? Or, what would right action look like in this situation? This proactive approach allows us to turn our daily challenges into opportunities for growth. Moreover, remember that this path is not about perfection. There will be days when negativity feels overwhelming. That's part of being human. The key is to remain committed to your practice. Each time you bring your attention back to the path, you are making progress. As you explore the Noble Eightfold Path, be gentle with yourself. Change takes time, and it's essential to celebrate small victories along the way. Each step taken is a step toward freedom from negativity, creating a brighter, more positive mindset. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into the concepts of wisdom and right understanding, further illuminating how these principles can enhance our journey to a more positive life. Stay tuned. Wisdom and right understanding in the face of negativity. In the journey of life, we often encounter negativity. It can be a passing thought, a lingering emotion, or even a persistent belief about ourselves and the world around us. But in the midst of this negativity, there lies an opportunity for growth and transformation. The teachings of Buddhism guide us toward wisdom and right understanding, helping us navigate through life's challenges with clarity and compassion. So, what exactly is wisdom in the context of Buddhism? Wisdom, or prajna, is not merely about accumulating knowledge. It is about seeing things as they truly are. It's understanding the nature of existence, the reality of impermanence, and the interconnectedness of all beings. When we develop wisdom, we gain insight into the root causes of our suffering, which allows us to respond to negativity with a clearer mind. Right understanding is one of the key components of the Noble Eightfold Path, which provides a roadmap to end suffering. It begins with seeing things clearly. For instance, when a negative thought arises, instead of simply reacting to it or getting swept away by it, we can pause and ask ourselves, what is this thought trying to tell me? Is it based on reality, or is it a product of my fears and insecurities? This practice of inquiry can shift our perspective and allow us to respond more skillfully. Let's consider an example. Imagine you receive criticism at work. Your initial reaction might be to feel hurt or defensive, but with right understanding, you can pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what is the intention behind this feedback? Is there a lesson here that can help me grow? This shift in perspective helps you see criticism not as a personal attack, but as an opportunity for improvement. With wisdom, you can separate yourself from the negativity and embrace the potential for growth. Another important aspect of wisdom is recognizing the impermanent nature of our thoughts and feelings. Everything in life is in constant flux, including our emotions. When we understand that negative feelings are not permanent fixtures but temporary experiences, we can cultivate a sense of ease and detachment. Imagine you're feeling anxious about an upcoming event. Instead of letting that anxiety consume you, remind yourself that this feeling will pass. It's just a moment in time, not your entire reality. In Buddhism, we often talk about the concept of no self or anatta. This means that we are not fixed identities, but rather a collection of experiences, thoughts, and emotions. When we cling to the idea of a rigid self, we invite suffering. However, when we realize that our thoughts and emotions are not who we truly are, we can observe them without attachment. This understanding is a key component of wisdom that helps us navigate negativity. Developing wisdom also means recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings. When we understand that our actions, thoughts, and words have an impact on others, we become more mindful of how we respond to negativity. For example, when someone is rude to us, we can choose to respond with kindness instead of anger. This not only helps us maintain our peace of mind, but also contributes to a more compassionate world. The practice of right understanding encourages us to cultivate a sense of gratitude, even in the face of negativity. When we focus on the positive aspects of our lives, we create a shift in our mindset. For instance, during difficult times, take a moment to reflect on what you are grateful for. This could be a supportive friend, a beautiful sunset, or simply the breath that sustains you. By focusing on gratitude, we can diminish the power of negative thoughts and emotions. In our quest for wisdom, we must also confront our beliefs and assumptions. Often, negativity arises from deep-seated beliefs that we hold about ourselves and the world. These beliefs can be challenged and transformed through mindfulness and self-inquiry. For example, if you believe you are unworthy of love, you can question that belief. Is this true? What evidence do I have to support this thought? By dismantling these limiting beliefs, we create space for healthier, more empowering perspectives. Furthermore, wisdom guides us to practice self-compassion. It's essential to be gentle with ourselves, especially when we encounter negativity. Instead of criticizing ourselves for having negative thoughts, we can acknowledge that these experiences are part of being human. When we treat ourselves with kindness, we create a nurturing environment for growth and healing. As we cultivate wisdom and right understanding, it's essential to integrate these teachings into our daily lives. This means taking small, consistent actions that align with our newfound insights. For instance, when negativity arises, we can practice mindfulness techniques, such as deep breathing or grounding ourselves in the present moment. These practices can help us respond to negativity with clarity instead of reactivity. Moreover, engaging in regular reflection can deepen our understanding. Journaling is a powerful tool for this purpose. Set aside time each day to write about your thoughts and feelings. Reflect on moments of negativity and how you responded. What did you learn from those experiences? How can you apply that wisdom in the future? This practice of reflection can reinforce your commitment to cultivating a wise and compassionate mindset. As we draw closer to the conclusion of our exploration, remember that wisdom is not a destination. It is a continuous journey. Each moment offers us an opportunity to deepen our understanding and cultivate a more peaceful mind. When we embrace this journey, we empower ourselves to face negativity with resilience and grace. In summary, the teachings of Buddhism provide us with the tools to navigate negativity through wisdom and right understanding. By seeing our thoughts clearly, recognizing impermanence, and cultivating compassion, we can transform our relationship with negativity. As we practice these principles, we not only free ourselves from the grip of negativity, but also contribute to a more compassionate world. As we continue on this path, let us embrace the journey with open hearts and curious minds, ever eager to learn and grow. Karma and negative energy, breaking the cycle. In the journey of understanding how to remove negativity from our minds, it's crucial to explore the concept of karma and how it relates to our thoughts and actions. Karma is a fundamental principle in Buddhism that teaches us that our actions, both good and bad, have consequences. This isn't just about moral judgment. It's about understanding the energy we put out into the world and how it influences our lives and minds. Let's break this down. Imagine a simple act of kindness, like helping someone carry their groceries. This small gesture generates positive energy. You feel good about helping, and the person you helped feels gratitude. This creates a ripple effect. Their gratitude might inspire them to be kind to someone else. In this way, positive actions create a positive environment that nurtures our mental state. Conversely, negative actions, like harboring anger or resentment, can create a cycle of negativity that returns to us in unexpected ways. Karma teaches us that we have the power to shape our realities through our thoughts and actions. When we allow negative thoughts to take root in our minds, we create negative karma that can manifest in various forms: stress, anxiety, conflict in relationships, and even physical ailments. It's as if we are planting seeds of negativity that will inevitably grow and bear fruit. This is the cycle of negative energy, and breaking free from it requires conscious effort and awareness. To break this cycle, we must first recognize that our thoughts are powerful. They are not just fleeting whispers in our minds. They are the foundation of our experiences. Every thought we entertain has the potential to shape our reality. When we dwell on negative thoughts, we feed them energy, making them stronger and more persistent. This is why mindfulness is so essential. By observing our thoughts without judgment, we can begin to notice patterns and understand which thoughts lead us toward negativity and which ones uplift us. One effective practice is to regularly check in with ourselves. Ask, what am I thinking right now? How do these thoughts make me feel? When we cultivate this habit, we can catch ourselves before negativity spirals out of control. For instance, if you notice feelings of frustration arising, pause for a moment. Breathe deeply and acknowledge the frustration without becoming attached to it. Remind yourself that this feeling is temporary and does not define you. Another key aspect of breaking the cycle of negative energy is to replace harmful thoughts with positive affirmations. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," try affirming, "I am capable and strong." This shift in language can help retrain our brains, creating a new narrative that encourages positivity and resilience. Over time, these positive affirmations can significantly change how we perceive ourselves and our capabilities. Buddhism also teaches the practice of compassion, both for ourselves and for others. When we are kind to ourselves, we create a nurturing internal environment. Self-compassion allows us to acknowledge our shortcomings without judgment. Instead of beating ourselves up for negative thoughts, we can treat ourselves with the same kindness we would offer a friend. This self-acceptance is a powerful antidote to the harshness of negativity. Let's take a moment to consider the impact of our interactions with others. Just as our actions can create karma, the energy we share with those around us can influence our mental state. If we surround ourselves with negative people who complain and criticize, it can weigh heavily on our own minds. On the other hand, being around positive, uplifting individuals can inspire us to see the good in our lives and ourselves. Therefore, it's important to choose our environments wisely. Seek out relationships that encourage growth and positivity. Engage in conversations that lift you up rather than drag you down. By consciously surrounding ourselves with positivity, we create an environment where negative thoughts have less space to thrive. Forgiveness is another essential aspect of breaking the cycle of negative energy. Holding on to grudges and resentments creates heavy burdens in our minds. When we refuse to forgive, we continue to feed negative energy, not only toward others, but also toward ourselves. Buddhism teaches that forgiveness is not about condoning someone's actions. It's about freeing ourselves from the chains of resentment. When we forgive, we release the negative energy that binds us, allowing space for healing and growth. Let's also not forget the power of gratitude. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we shift our perspective away from negativity. Take time each day to reflect on the positives in your life. No matter how small, gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, fostering a sense of abundance that counteracts negative thinking. In summary, the interplay of karma and negative energy teaches us that we are not passive observers in our lives. We have the power to influence our thoughts and actions, shaping our reality through the choices we make. By practicing mindfulness, compassion, forgiveness, and gratitude, we can break free from the cycle of negativity. Remember, every positive thought and action is a step toward a brighter, more peaceful mind. Let this be the foundation of your journey toward inner peace and happiness. Conclusion, lasting inner peace and final words. Dear ones, as we reach the end of our journey together, I want to remind you of something important. The peace you are searching for is already within you. It's not something you have to find outside, nor is it something that can be taken away by the challenges of life. Peace is like the sky, always present, even when clouds of negativity, fear, or stress seem to cover it. Through the teachings of Buddhism, we have been walking a path that clears those clouds, allowing us to reconnect with the peace that is our true nature. Now, you may wonder, is it really possible to live a life free of negativity? The answer is simple. While negativity will still arise, it doesn't have to control you anymore. You are not a prisoner of your thoughts. Instead, you have the power to observe them, let them pass, and choose how to respond. This is the core of what we've learned. We started by understanding how negativity takes hold of the mind. We examined how our thoughts can sometimes seem like powerful forces pulling us in many directions, and how these thoughts are often influenced by fear, attachment, or misunderstanding. But through mindfulness and meditation, we learn to step back, to observe without getting lost in the storm. Think of it like this. Imagine you are standing by a river. The water is rushing by, carrying leaves, branches, and even debris with it. These are your thoughts, always flowing, always moving. At first, you might feel like you are caught in that river, being pulled and tossed by the current. But with practice, you begin to realize that you don't have to jump in. You can stay on the riverbank and simply watch the water pass by. You are not the river. You are the observer. This is the key to lasting inner peace. Recognizing that your thoughts, especially the negative ones, are just passing moments in the mind. They are not permanent, and they do not define who you are. The more you practice observing without judgment, the more freedom you will experience. Over the course of these teachings, we have talked about mindfulness, compassion, and meditation. Each of these is a tool to help you stay connected to the present moment, where peace resides. Mindfulness allows you to be aware of your thoughts and feelings without being swept away by them. Compassion helps you soften towards yourself and others, releasing the grip of anger, frustration, and negativity. Meditation is the daily practice of returning to the present, strengthening your ability to remain calm, centered, and peaceful even in difficult times. You see, dear ones, life will always bring challenges. There will always be moments when negative thoughts arise. But the difference now is that you know how to handle them. You don't need to fight these thoughts or push them away. Instead, acknowledge them, see them for what they are, and let them pass. Just like clouds in the sky, they will come and go. The sky remains vast and untouched, and so does your inner peace. Many of you might still wonder, what do I do when negativity feels overwhelming, when it seems too strong to handle? Let me share a simple practice with you. A practice you can use anytime, anywhere. When you feel overwhelmed by negative thoughts, take a deep breath. Close your eyes if you can, and bring your attention to your breath. Feel the air coming in and going out. As you focus on your breath, remind yourself, this is just a moment. It will pass. Keep breathing, keep observing, and slowly you'll notice that the intensity of those negative thoughts begins to fade. This is the power of presence, the power of mindfulness. Buddhism teaches us about the nature of impermanence. Everything is constantly changing, including our thoughts and emotions. By accepting this truth, we free ourselves from the need to control every aspect of our experience. Instead, we learn to flow with life, to embrace both the ups and downs with grace and equanimity. This doesn't mean we ignore our problems or deny our pain. It means we understand that nothing lasts forever, and we can handle each moment with wisdom and compassion. Now, as we conclude, I want to leave you with one final teaching. It's a teaching that has helped countless people find peace, joy, and freedom from negativity. And it's very simple. Be kind to yourself. Often, our greatest source of negativity comes from within. We are harsh, critical, and impatient with ourselves, expecting perfection in everything we do. But remember this: you are human, and being human means making mistakes, feeling emotions, and learning as you go. The more kindness you show yourself, the more peace you will feel. If you take just one thing from all that we've shared, let it be this: practice kindness, both to yourself and others. When you feel negativity rising, respond with compassion. When you stumble, respond with understanding. When life feels overwhelming, remember that you are not alone, and that peace is always available to you in the present moment. Thank you for walking this path with me. I am honored to have shared these teachings with you, and I hope they bring you the peace and clarity you deserve. Remember, this journey doesn't end here. The practices of mindfulness, meditation, and compassion are lifelong companions, always there to guide you back to your true nature. Before we finish, I have one last request for you. There are so many people who visit this channel, but did you know only 0.2% of you are subscribed? If this journey has brought you value, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. By doing so, you're not only supporting this channel but helping others discover these teachings that can change their lives. May you carry the peace and wisdom we've shared into your daily life. May you continue to grow in mindfulness, compassion, and inner calm. And remember, the peace you seek is always within you. Thank you, and may you be well.